13 on your side. An investigation is underway after Imperial Police find a dead man in his home. Why the death is being ruled a homicide. Plus, a nonprofit planning to house COVID-positive migrants at the hotel in the foothills now is reversing course. Tonight, why the sudden change in plans? And a Welton Border Patrol agent dies after contracting COVID while on duty. How his legacy is remembered today and how you can help his family. 13 on your side starts right now.
13 on your side starts now.
Thank you for joining us on 13 on your side. I'm Scott Gross. A Welton Border Patrol agent dies after contracting COVID while on duty. 13 on your side's Arlette Youssef has more.
Yuma Sector Border Patrol bids a sad farewell to a dedicated agent and Yuma native. Luis Dominguez, a husband, a father, and a Border Patrol agent. Dominguez joined Border Patrol just after 9/11 and worked there for 20 years. But this year he became ill and spent nearly 2 months in a Phoenix hospital after testing positive for COVID-19 before losing his battle last week. Several members of the community joined uniformed agents during Monday's procession. Many flags at half-staff along the way from Welton to Yuma. Patrol vehicles from all departments of law enforcement following their fallen brother one last time. Those who personally knew and worked with Dominguez considered him easygoing, warm and friendly, as well as a fixture at the Welton station where they say he will be missed dearly. The Yuma community also paying their respects on social media. One saying, quote, "He fought a long, hard battle for his life. He was truly loved and will be missed. My condolences to his family, friends, and coworkers." And another saying, quote, "Thank you for your dedication to your country. Heartfelt condolences to Agent Luis H. Dominguez's family." According to the GoFundMe page set up by a family friend, Dominguez was planning to retire in September, even though he loved his job and his colleagues. He was 51 years old. If you would like to contribute to the family of Agent Dominguez, go to our website, kyma.com. Reporting in Yuma, Arlette Youssef.
A person died in Calexico after jumping over the border wall. The Mexican consulate in Calexico says a man tried to jump with a rope ladder on Saturday night, but he fell headfirst on the Mexican side of the border, killing him instantly. The consulate says that 39 migrants have died this year in their attempt to cross into the United States, either through the All-American Canal, the Ocotillo area, or near the border fence.
The migrant died a few miles from the Mexican consulate, but he remained on the Mexican side. However, we have been in communication with the Nationality of Migration Institute, INAMI, in the investigation to find out the nationality of the person. It is worrying that this year the number of migrant deaths has more than doubled. There are already 39 people killed by trying to cross the border of Calexico, either in the desert, through the canal, and also on the wall.
As the consulate said, of the 39 deaths, 13 died from drowning, 12 from dehydration, and 14 from crashes and border wall accidents. The Best Western Hotel in the Yuma foothills will no longer be moving forward with plans to house asylum seekers coming across the border. The hotel planned on closing to the public and would have been used for housing undocumented immigrants. But according to Yuma County Supervisor Darren Simmons, the Best Western will now be open for public use and bookings. Fencing and federal vehicles are now off the property. Simmons says the hotel's change of thought could have been a result of opposition from several community members, which includes a petition and at least one protest.
It's been the community coming together and voicing their concerns and about not having this facility in their neighborhood. It was a bad situation, in my opinion, because of the location. It's right up front, it's front and center in the foothills. It's on South Frontage Road, which is a busy road.
And we've reached out to management at the Best Western. However, they did not answer our questions. Endeavors is the Texas-based organization in charge of housing the asylum seekers, both in the Yuma foothills and at the Wingate in Yuma. Currently, the Wingate will continue housing. We're still waiting to hear back from Endeavors. The Imperial Police Department is investigating the death of a man found dead in his home. Now, police responded to a call last Friday night from the local fire department to a home near La Boucherie and Wall Road. Now, at the scene, they found a male with a bag over his head with facial injuries to his right eye. The man is identified as 55-year-old Fray Contreras. His death is being ruled a homicide. Anyone with information is asked to contact police at 760-355-4327. That's 355-4327. El Centro Sector Border Patrol agents arrest a U.S. citizen for attempting to smuggle over $600,000 worth of cocaine. The man drove to the Highway 86 checkpoint over the weekend when he was sent to a further inspection by a Border Patrol agent. A canine detection team pointed towards the rear passenger seat where a hidden compartment was found in the floorboard. Now, within the compartment were 14 packages of white powder that tested positive for cocaine. The man, vehicle, and drugs were turned over to the Drug Enforcement Administration. And a Maricopa County Superior Court judge blocks Arizona laws requiring mask mandates in schools. The ruling today could clear the way for cities and counties to enact mask requirements. The judge also says an entire budget measure that served as a catch-all for a wish list of conservative policy items was unconstitutional. The judge ruled in favor of a coalition of educators and allies who sued over Arizona laws prohibiting public school districts from imposing mask requirements. Let's take a look now at your weather. There's a look at the Skycam, the RV World of Yuma Skycam, and things are pretty calm right now. Yeah, we're in the mid-80s right now. Mostly clear skies out there, a slight breeze we have out there as well. Today, we were under our normal. The normal for this time of year is 97 degrees. We didn't quite reach that in Yuma, but we did catch that in El Centro. Coming up in your first alert forecast, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. Yeah, below normal temps are on the way, but for how long? Plus, gusty winds are going to blow in, and I also have a fantastic viewer weather photo to share with you. All of this coming up in just a little bit. Now, a higher electricity bill could be coming your way in the coming months if you get your power from the Imperial Irrigation District. Why? Vince Ibarra tells us from El Centro.
IID wants you to know that your bill may be higher during the fall and winter months, saying it's to make sure you don't go without power. IID made sure to keep the cool air flowing this summer, but now that the temps are cooling down, your bill could still be a little higher than normal.
We wanted to be fully certain that we had enough energy and then reserved energy available to meet all of our customers' needs all summer long.
But Hamby says meeting these needs comes with a cost. The energy company is raising its prices.
Those costs were much higher than anticipated, so instead of putting all of those costs onto those highest used summer months, we spread that out into the fall and early winter.
According to his website, Governor Newsom recently signed a proclamation to speed up clean energy projects. And Hamby says the demand for clean energy is not exclusive to Imperial County. The need is felt across California.
It's a supply and demand problem. So when there's limited supply and the demand is going up with the higher temperatures, especially with climate change, that means that the costs are going to skyrocket.
IID is hopeful with the bill increase over the next few months, it can catch up and get on track to offering its lower rates for customers.
We're putting together a plan in place to ensure that we both have the reliability our customers need at the lowest possible cost, so we don't have any of these unforeseen costs like we had this summer.
Now, going back to Governor Newsom, that proclamation that he signed will give $812 million to sourcing clean energy for companies like the IID. Reporting in El Centro, I'm Vince Ibarra.
Now, in today's homegrown, farmers are faced with many threats in the growing process, and one of those is the California red scale insect. Now, these tiny bugs can only be seen through a microscope, but they can do some pretty big damage. They leave scales on the citrus fruit, which takes away from the quality and lowers the price of the fruit. Now, because of this, scientists created traps used on the trees to see if the tree is infected with California red scale.
These traps consist of a female lure inside and a little sticky glue trap. And what happens is when the males go to have a flight time, they are attracted to the scent of the lure inside of the trap, and then they land on the little glue trap, and we can tell if we have this insect near that grove.
The insects are not native to the state of Arizona, so they are usually brought here by way of rose bushes or birds. Now, if a tree is infected, it's cut down and burned. Also, the entire field will need chemical treatment for the next 3 years. And if you've received text messages claiming to be from the California DMV, they're more than likely scams. Now, the texts include links that do not direct people to the official DMV website. People are being tricked. Why? Because the DMV does not send text messages. Officials say the DMV will only send one if you, the customer, has initiated it first.
The DMV does offer online services that may require some interaction between us and the customer, but the DMV doesn't ever text you or email you unsolicited.
The department recommends people ignore or delete unsolicited texts requesting personal information claiming to be from the DMV. Straight ahead, R&B superstar R. Kelly found guilty in all counts in his sex trafficking and racketeering trial. More details from the courtroom straight ahead.
There'd been a collision?
Yes.
Why were you drinking at 11 in the morning?
Yeah, my bad.
All you can say is, my bad.
Yeah.
Well, your bad may get worse.
Hot bench.
Those were the days. A little risk never scared us. Pants tight, plans loose. We'd cruise down drags with our favorite bands. We bought good times with loose quarters. And every night, we had standing dates with the same friends. Life was simpler back then. We hustled, we bumped, we bus stopped, and we smoked. All the time. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now. Visit screenyourlungs.org today.
When kids need medical care, they will often face stressful and life-changing experiences. From complex treatments to long hospital stays, these special patients miss out on the things that most kids take for granted and let kids be kids. That's where Starlight Children's Foundation comes in. Since 1982, Starlight Children's Foundation has transformed the in-hospital experience for more than 17 million seriously ill kids in 800 children's hospitals and facilities across the United States. Our state-of-the-art programs like Starlight Virtual Reality, Starlight Hospital Wear, and Starlight Gaming let kids just be kids, if even for a few moments. Whether donning an action figure gown instead of standard hospital issue, or settling into gamer mode, if it brings a smile, a laugh, or just a break from their reality, it's happiness delivered. Learn more at starlight.org. That's starlight.org.
Touchdown! You see that? Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs.
I am what hunger looks like in America.
13 on Your Side starts now.
Welcome back. I'm Scott Gross. R&B superstar R. Kelly is now a convicted sex offender. A jury in Brooklyn needed just 9 hours to find him guilty of a slew of charges related to sexuality, abusing young and underage women. Elise Preston reports from New York.
After weeks of testimony, R&B singer R. Kelly was found guilty on all charges of racketeering and sex trafficking.
Today's guilty verdict forever brands R. Kelly as a predator.
The 54-year-old was accused of using his celebrity to procure young women and girls for sex. Prosecutors said his conduct amounted to a criminal enterprise that lasted nearly 3 decades.
For years, Mr. Kelly believed that his power and fame could defy the justice system and allow him to continue his abuse.
The three-time Grammy winner had long been the subject of rumors and allegations of sexual misconduct. He was arrested on child pornography charges in 2002, but acquitted 6 years later. A 2019 documentary series, Surviving R. Kelly, prompted new investigations and new charges.
To the victims in this case, your voices were heard and justice was finally served.
Kelly's attorney described him as disappointed.
He was not anticipating this verdict because based on the evidence, why should he anticipate this verdict?
Kelly is scheduled to be sentenced in May of 2022. Under federal guidelines, he could receive anywhere from 10 years to life in prison. Elise Preston, CBS News.
R. Kelly has been in jail since July of 2019. He still faces sex-related criminal charges in Illinois and in Minnesota. Well, a key procedural vote on a bill to fund government through December failed largely along party lines in the Senate, with just days to avoid a possible government shutdown. A GOP attempt to strip the debt ceiling from the government funding measure was also blocked by the Democrats. Natalie Brand has more from Capitol Hill.
The motion is not agreed to.
Senate Republicans blocked a key test vote on a House-passed bill to temporarily fund the government and suspend the federal debt limit. This sets up a showdown ahead of Friday's shutdown deadline.
The Republican Party has solidified itself as the party of default.
Republicans in the evenly divided Senate say they will only support a clean vote on the continuing resolution.
We're not willing to help Democrats raise the debt ceiling while they write a reckless taxing and spending spree.
Congressional Republicans have called out Democrats over plans to spend trillions of dollars on their budget reconciliation bill in their opposition to raising the debt ceiling. But Democrats say the increase is about paying the debts the U.S. has already accumulated. Meanwhile, federal agencies are working on contingency plans for a possible shutdown.
People are very, very much on edge.
Jacqueline Simon is the policy director for the American Federation of Government Employees. She says federal workers are not the only ones who suffer during a shutdown.
There are a lot of people who rely on government services, from veterans to the elderly and the disabled. There's a ripple effect, and it hurts the economy.
The longest government shutdown in U.S. history lasted 35 days, from December 2018 to January 2019 under former President Donald Trump, affecting roughly 800,000 federal workers. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer was the lone Democrat to vote no on the continuing resolution, a procedural move to allow him to bring up the measure again at a later time. CBS News has learned President Biden spoke to Senator Schumer and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on the phone this afternoon, with the funding fight and his infrastructure agenda on the line this week in Congress. Another look outside. There's the sky cam, and there's a new view of downtown Yuma. That's 4th Avenue South. Clear skies out there, slight breeze, but things are going to change wind-wise. I'll explain straight ahead in your First Alert forecast.
Subway has so much new. I ran out of time in the last ad.
I'll take it from here. Sorry, Steph. Spokesperson refresh.
Wait, what?
Subway just upped their bread game with the help of some world-class bakers. Looking at you, Nance.
Got to refresh to be fresh.
How many people are in this ad?
That means freshly baked, new artisan Italian, and hearty multigrain. That would go good with. Seriously? I didn't even get to finish. See you next commercial.
You've spent years dreaming up your business plan, saving every dollar, searching for the right location, and perfecting your product. Auto Owners insures your small business, because it isn't small to you.
Only 36 more to go.
That's simple human sense.
Ask A.T. Pancrazi Insurance in Yuma if Auto Owners makes sense for you.
Do you worry about going to the dentist? After all, a visit to the dentist can easily cost $2,000 or more. Well, relax. The Carefree Dental Card is now available in your area. Call now and we'll send your actual card at no cost today. With the Carefree Dental Card, you go to the dentist whenever you need and you instantly pay a lot less. Activate your card and you can start using it immediately. From exams and cleanings to more expensive procedures like crowns, dentures, even braces, they're all included with the Carefree Dental Card. Say you go to the dentist today without any card and your bill is, well, ouch. Wait a minute, let's try that again. You go to the dentist today and show your Carefree Dental Card, you save $525. The Carefree Dental Card is just $15.95 a month, and everyone in your household can use the same card.
Call 1-800-997-4110 to receive your free Carefree Dental Card information kit. Call 1-800-997-4110 now.
Are you an aggressive, goal-oriented, proven revenue generator? Cox Media Group is hiring a local director of sales. Responsibilities revolve around driving digital and on-air ad sales and training a seasoned team to reach new heights. Must be able to serve current business owners in their goal to grow their business. In turn, you'll control your income if you want to push past the limits of your former sales goals. Cox Media Group is interested in seeing your data-driven resume. Go to KYMA.com now to apply.
A very good Monday evening to all of you across the Desert Southwest. Thank you so much for sticking with us tonight. We're cooling off tonight. We're going to be right around our averages tonight. The average around Yuma 71. The average overnight for El Centro 66 right now. We're in the 80s. We're at 82 right now in El Centro. As we take a look outside in the RV world of Yuma Skycam. There is downtown Yuma, 4th Avenue South anyway, a portion of downtown. A light breeze as well. You can see the tops of those trees moving back and forth just a little bit, but that's going to change in the very near future. We also have mostly clear skies. That will probably stay the same as we get into tomorrow. I'll explain in just a little bit. Right now, let's take a look at your satellite and radar, show you what we have in the area. We did have rain throughout the area. I'll get out of the way so you can see what transpired throughout the day. You do see some green dots throughout Yuma County. That is rain, but we're just so warm that even if it does fall, it's not going to hit the ground where we are. Again, we do have some rain just south of Flagstaff around the Phoenix area, but as far as the Desert Southwest, nothing here right now. Don't expect anything in the very near future. As far as our state and our future cast, we could, we still have this low-high system right here. That will actually aid in rainfall near the Four Corners. We will also have some near north of Phoenix, also in the Flagstaff area again tomorrow, possibly even the Pacific Northwest getting some rain as well. Texas looks to be wet tomorrow as well. Let's jump ahead. Hey, if you're looking for weekly leaf changes and you're looking for those fall colors, because we are in fall, we are in our second week, there's a picture of where you can find them. You can just drive a little bit north here from the Desert Southwest. You'll find them as you get in northern Arizona, into Utah, Nevada, even into Colorado, New Mexico. Or you can just go to the Midwest. Minnesota has a great display of fall colors. Let's take a look now at what we have going in your future wind. I said we're going to be calm right now, but we will get gusty as we get to tomorrow. Watch what happens after lunchtime. Whoosh, yeah, right across Imperial County. We're going to have winds anywhere between 30 and 40 miles per hour in Imperial County, 10 and 25 miles per hour in Yuma County. So just please be aware tomorrow driving around the area on Interstate 8 or north and south as you go about. Watch out for some flying dust or sand in the area as well. Jumping into our air quality index brought to us by the Imperial County Air Pollution Control District. A little change from 6 o'clock. El Centro was good in the 4 o'clock, was moderate in the 6 o'clock, back to good. The rest of the valley, all good. Mexicali checks in with moderate. That's where they've been all day long. Current look at your temperatures, 81 Imperial, 82, as I mentioned, El Centro. Holtville, you're 85, and across the county and state line. Let's skip across that. We'll take a look right now at Yuma County, Arizona. We're at 85 degrees in the foothills. Yuma as well. YPG, Southern La Paz County Quartzsite is at 86. Our viewer photo of the day today comes to us from Zachary Stewart. A beautiful photo. He actually sent this in to us in early August. I'm just getting to it right now. Sunrise in the Yuma foothills. Thank you so much, Zachary. You can actually see a silhouette of the mountains off into the distance as he's got the sun that looks like a pearl out there too, cozy, nestled into the clouds out there. Thank you, Zachary. And if you have a photo too, just scan this QR code. It'll take you right to our weather photo gallery. Once you're there, upload your photo from your phone, include your name, maybe a little description as well. You can also find me on social media, even plop it off on our homepage, KYMA.com/share. Let's take a look now at your MetroCast. Have you planned tonight and your day tomorrow? Mostly clear skies tonight around midnight. We'll be at 81 degrees as you wake up tomorrow for work or school. We'll have mostly clear skies and 75. And tomorrow around lunchtime, high noon, mostly sunny skies and 92. Again, watch out for the gusty winds throughout portions of the viewing area. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Breezy, as I mentioned, 96 tomorrow. Our average for this time of year is 97. We'll be right on that. Again, we're in the second week of fall. We're also in the last week of September. Yeah, October will approach us on Friday. Look at the Imperial County again. Gusty winds tomorrow. Cloudy on Wednesday. Otherwise, we're going to be breezy, dry, and we'll get hotter as we get into the weekend. Next, it's another installment of the top prep plays of the week. Find out who takes the top spot straight ahead in sports.
Dear night owls, when darkness falls, our stunning style takes flight as we soar over city streets. And our fuel economy is ever so wise. This ride's a hoot. Trust us, Toyota sedans.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
How do you open tough jar lids? Do you try this one? Or this one? Or how about this one?
Honey?
This is the future. Shouldn't there be a robot for this by now? There is. Introducing RoboTwist, the robotic jar opener that easily twists off even the toughest lids. Just set it down, press the button, and watch it work. First, the RoboStrong vise locks down tight. Then the powerful twisting action unscrews the lid. RoboTwist is yours for the special introductory price of just $19.99. That's right, the robotic jar opener that easily twists off even the toughest lids. All for just $19.99. Whether the jar is big or small, RoboTwist can open them all. Supplies are limited, so don't delay. Here's how to get yours today.
Call 1-800-347-9043. That's 1-800-347-9043. Or order online at buyrobotwist.com.
Did you know breast cancer kills more than 41,000 people every year in the U.S.?
That's 113 people every day.
That's unacceptable.
African American women die from breast cancer nearly 41% more than Caucasian women.
That's unacceptable.
Nearly 250,000 men and women in the U.S.
will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year.
That's unacceptable. Breast cancer is the leading cause of all cancer deaths for Hispanic women.
Breast cancer is unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
Help us save lives. Together with Susan G. Komen, we're committed to reducing U.S. breast cancer deaths by half.
And we're going to do it by 2026.
Support Susan G. Komen. Join our fight. Save lives. Visit Komen.org/unacceptable.
Failure is unacceptable.
It's been a quiet couple of weeks for the Yuma High School football team. The Criminals, who have high aspirations this season, have been stuck in park for the better part of 2 weeks. Now, in week one of the season, it was a late week cancellation by San Pasqual that had the Crims scrambling to find another game. Now, they found the Bruins of Trevor Brown out of Phoenix to fill the slot. Now, after being in a fourth quarter comeback that fell short to that 6A school, a Week 2 loss to Calexico fell upon them in the following week. Now, the Crims started the season 0-2. The tough start was followed by football operations being shut down due to COVID concerns right before they were to play their third game of the season. Now, that left the Crims in a reboot mode, if you will, heading into a big inner-city battle with Cibola this coming Friday. Head coach Bo Seibel is working on ways to keep the team focused and prepared as they look to beat the Raiders for the first time in years.
We've been facing a lot of adversity this year, so locker room, the guys were excited to be back. We're back on the grind. Cibola's got a great program. We're going to need those couple extra days. It's been a while since Yuma High beat Cibola, so we're going to need those couple extra days for preparation and look forward to bringing a good game on Friday night.
And the Crims traveled to Cibola, who won on Friday night, their first game of the year, Friday at 7 o'clock in town. Kickoff in the first month of October 1st. You can catch the highlights right here in the Varsity Blitz. And speaking of the Varsity Blitz,
Varsity Blitz is back, and 13 on your side has all the action.
And also be sure to join us for a very special occasion this Thursday during the 6 o'clock newscast, as I'll once again be on the road for prep football. And once again, I'll be in Holtville as the Vikings take on the Imperial Tigers. Join us for the pregame weather forecast and an interview with Vikings head coach Jason Turner on the road this Thursday during our 6 o'clock newscast. And congratulations to the Cibola boys and girls cross country teams on great finishes this past Friday. Both teams competed in the Desert Twilight Invitational in Queen Creek. Cibola girls placed 38th out of 112 teams. All girls on the team ran a personal best, including finisher Janelle Sanchez in a time of 21:49. On the boys team, Bennett Meyer Wills, who you see here, competed in the final race of the night, the sweepstakes race, with some of the top kids in the state, teams from Florida, Colorado, New Mexico, Hawaii. He placed 18th out of 231. His time, 15:30, running the 5th fastest Arizona time at the meet. And as a team, with just Arizona team standing, Cibola placed 14th out of 146 teams for the boys. A job well done. Congratulations to all the Cibola Raider cross-country runners. And it's a Monday, and that means it's time for my top 5 prep plays from last week. Number 5 is a defensive stand by Yuma Catholic against Mojave. The Rocks Lorenzo Duran, Angel Felix, and Desmond Esquivel shut the door. Number 4 is another defensive play. Same game, Mojave's Jonathan Williams chucks it deep for Fabian Ronquillo, but Yuma Catholic's Mario Ramirez there to jar it loose. Number 3 is from Brawley and the Wildcats junior fullback Tanner Carranza off the left side. He's gone for a 50-yard score. Brawley wins 2014 OT. Number 2, Imperial's Reese Vindiola tries to connect with his receiver, tipped in the air by the Gila Ridge Hawks. They'll take it away. And number 1 comes from Yuma Catholic again. Here is Richard Stallworth getting hit, throwing, and finding, guess who? Mario Martinez again, streaking down the field right before the half. Yuma Catholic wins 42-0. To Monday Night Football, it'll be Philadelphia in Dallas, and the Cowboys' Dak Prescott, there he is, playing his first home game in 351 days after a horrific ankle injury last year. First quarter tied at 7. Prescott throws and finds Cowboys' Dalton Schultz for the 19-yard touchdown. 14-7 Cowboys. They're feeling good. Later in the second quarter, Cowboys up 27-14 on the 4th down. Prescott moving to his right to buy time finds Cowboys Cedric Wilson for the 2-yard touchdown. 34-14 at that point, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott also had 2 touchdowns in this game. Dallas wins easily at home tonight by a score of 41-21 and moving to first place in the NFC East with a 2-1 record. That's all we have for sports. Stay tuned for our Military Matters straight ahead.
At Denver Mattress, we believe a little tranquility goes a long way. So add a little tranquility into your sleep with the Colorado mattress. Packed with over 500 individually wrapped coils. And made in the USA at our very own Denver Mattress Factory, the Colorado mattress is the perfect combination of comfort and value.
Visit your local Denver Mattress today and take one home for only $499.99.
The Colorado mattress only at Denver Mattress. The easiest way to get the right mattress.
Every picture has a story. At Doctors Without Borders, it's our mission to change those stories. Because thousands of children are still dying of measles. We're there with preventative medical care. Because every day, hundreds of women die from causes related to pregnancy and childbirth. We're there to assist hundreds of thousands. Because in some countries, there are only 1 or 2 mental health professionals. We're there to provide support, counseling, and clinical care. It's your care and compassion that make this happen. Picture the impact we can have together.
If something happened to you, what would happen to them? Their home, their education, their future. You need life insurance, and chances are SelectQuote can help you get it for less than $1 a day.
SelectQuote found Jacob 40, a $500,000 policy for only $19 a month. And SelectQuote found his wife Wendy a $500,000 policy for only $17 a month.
Our secret? At SelectQuote, we aggressively comparison shop up to 10 highly rated companies to find you the company with the best rates.
We found Gary, 35, a $1 million policy for only $22 a month.
Why pay more? Give your family the security they need at a price you can afford.
Call 1-800-260-6735. That's 1-800-260-6735.
At a price you can afford. Select Quote. We shop, you save.
And before we go tonight, we want to give a tip of the cap to Corporal Janet Diaz Colazos as our part of our Military Matters Spotlight. Diaz is currently serving at the U.S. Army Yuma Proving Ground Veterinary Clinic. She provides all necessary care for government-owned animals like working dogs and also pets of active duty and retired military members of the community. Thank you so much, Corporal Diaz, for all of your help. That's all for us. Thank you, Omar, back in the booth. Thanks for watching. Stephen Colbert is next.